Today's video is a DEWALT TUFF system box converted to a battery powered or 12 volt cigarette lighter powered cooler. So it's an iceless cooler. I built it for my side-by-side. It fits underneath my gas cans, and yeah, I just wanted one. I'll show you how it works. So up top here we have one of these is a voltage bucker for the 12 volt in, so it just stabilizes the voltage coming from the machine, keeps it at about 12 and a half volts. This is the same thing but for the battery, so it knocks the 20 volt batteries down to 12 volt, and it all feeds into there's a switch on the inside. So if I have a battery in, if I have this plugged in, it automatically goes for the 12 volt, and if I lose power to my 12 volt socket, it switches to battery. So this will stay running. I have my 12 volt socket on the back of my machine on a toggle switch. So if I'm parked and I shut the machine off and I kill the power to the 12 volt, it'll run on my battery. It won't charge, but that's fine. Like right now I'm doing a test to see how long it'll run. Last night I was playing with it with a 5 amp hour battery. I got it up to around 2 hours and it hadn't died yet, so I'll finish my test on that, and I can maybe get back to you if you want to know how long it'll run on a battery. But yeah, so that's what that does. That's priority. So if that's plugged in, it doesn't run on the battery, it runs on that. When there's no 12 volt in, it runs on the battery. This is the current temperature inside the box. It's already gone down 3 degrees since I put the battery in. And then that's the set temperature. It uses tech plates. I could maybe throw some pictures up of what a tech plate is here. Can't really see them, but right now we've it's got lights in the box. When you open it, lights come on, you can see what you're doing. This is just where the cutout is for the battery. So what we got going on here is this is a heat exchanger for like a computer or whatever, little computer fan just to circulate the air on the heat exchanger there. It gets it through the box more. I was playing with it without the fan, and I could get this frosted up, but it wasn't really cooling my drinks. And I have another one that's similar, like a store-bought one, and it's got a little fan in it. So I put a fan in it, and we're testing that right now. So what I did on the inside is I built a plastic tub, basically, that this sits in, and then it's all spray foamed in between the box and this, so it's insulated. And then this is like it's called automotive goop. It self levels and it turns into like a plastic. It's really nice stuff. This is like the third version. I couldn't get the thing to work, so right now it has two 12 amp tech plates in series, so they're half, so it's technically 12 amps total with two tech plates, so they're splitting the load. That just ensures they last longer, and it's less draw on the battery. And then on the back side of this is 2-inch high density foam, and then there's a cutout where my tech plates are, and then there's a little coolant block that's got the coolant running through it. So that takes the heat away from the hot side of the tech plate, and all the cold goes to the cold side, and it chills this exchanger, which is actually getting pretty cold already. It'll condensate up and create ice if you leave it on long enough. And then there's an air space under here with the water pump or the coolant pump. I left the airspace because down here there's a little radiator with 2 fans, and if you can see here, there's a fine mesh that I plastic welded in, and there's holes drilled through, so it pulls air through these holes into this chamber where the pump and everything is, and then pulls the air back through the radiators and blows it out the back. So what that's for is that cools the backside of the tech plate, and the way tech plates work is the more heat you can pull away from the hot side, the colder the cold side will get. So that's basically how those work, but they're not very efficient. The key with them is thermal bridging. You got to get rid of as much thermal bridging as you can. Before, I had 2 heat exchangers and they were really close together and they were basically canceling each other out. I tried stacking tech plates, I did everything, and all I did was wreck stuff and I didn't get anywhere. And then after going down the YouTube rabbit hole, the best ways seemed to be with the radiator and liquid cooling it. So that's the route I went with. And then in the top, this is just a piece of aluminum checker plate, but there's a whole bunch of insulation in between. Like, I got it packed full. All the wiring's up in here. I can throw a picture of that up in there too. And then just to seal it up, I got these little squishy foam strips. That seals it to the top. I probably shouldn't have used checker plate, like I should have used something smooth, but that's what I had laying around and it looked cool. This should take up most of the airspace, so that'll seal it. And then there's a external seal, like the factory seal for the DEWALT box. So it's pretty watertight, it's pretty airtight, and it'll keep my drinks and sandwiches cold on the trail, and I don't have to carry any ice, which is handy because if you're up north for a week or so, you run out of ice, and then you got to deal with water and all that extra weight in your cooler. So this thing's, it's not light, but it's not heavy. It's not like a cooler full of ice heavy. It's I don't know, it's probably 20 pounds. Yeah, it works pretty good. So that closes. Oh, this little thing here, this is my temperature sensor, so that's where it's getting the readout. See, you can see already it's gone up because we had the lid open. If we close it up here, it might start dropping again. So yeah, we were at 19 when we opened it. It's already back up to 21.6 because we had it open. So it is working now. I'm gonna see how good. I'm gonna leave that water in it and run it through a battery or two and see how cold they get. Yeah, that's my little DEWALT TUFF system powered cooler. I think we're running out of battery now. It's starting to flicker. Yeah, so I just switched the battery out and we're already dropping in temperature, so it is working. This is I got a 5 amp hour battery in it, and it's low enough that you can stack another bin on top and it'll latch. I've tried it, it works. Yep, dropping some more. But yeah, that aluminum plate is just bolted on from the backside through the lip. It's pretty simple to do. It's kind of time consuming with all the glues. So like that automotive goop stuff, like this, that takes a long time to set, and then sometimes you got to do like a couple layers. Like I didn't want, if you just pour it on the edge, it would have filled these right up. So what I did was I put tape across here and then stood the whole bin or the lid up on its side and then just laid it in against the tape kind of on an angle, So you can kind of see the little ridge that it made. Just so it would sit in there but not fill these up. And then you got to let it sit for 24 hours. And then you got to move your tape to your next side, to your next side. So I did like 2 of them at a time. Like any edge that I had to do with the lid on that angle, I did the glue, and then the next day you peel the tape, cut any excess off, move your tape to your next spot, tip your lid, do the same thing. So this kind of stuff took a long time. Like you could do it with like plastic welding, I think. It's not really as pretty. Like this lays nice and smooth. That's why I did it with the glue. And it's flexible. So like it won't just crack and break on you. Yeah, other than like the gluing, it's not complicated. And it doesn't really take that long to do. You could put the battery under the lid if you wanted to. I didn't have room originally the way I built it before, but now that I've got this extra chamber, I probably could have put it under the lid and not had a problem. You could have even maybe did 2 batteries. I think Ryobi makes one, or Makita maybe, and they have 2 batteries in theirs. DEWALT doesn't make one, so I made my own. It seems to be working, and hopefully it stays working and I can use it on my side-by-side, and it'll go along with all my other DEWALT Tuff System bins. But yeah, that's my little project I did. If you got any questions, let me know.